Every breakthrough begins in silence. Every idea that changes a life starts the same way, with a single question: what if there's another way? But most people never ask it. They stay trapped in noise, scrolling, rushing, repeating, mistaking motion for progress. They wait for inspiration, when what they really need is stillness. Because creativity doesn't live in chaos, it's born in curiosity. And clarity doesn't come from the crowd. It comes from solitude, the quiet moments where you finally hear your own thoughts. The truth is, growth doesn't happen when you're comfortable. It happens when you're brave enough to challenge what's obvious, to sit alone with your ideas, and to trust that your mind already holds something original. This isn't about art, it's about ownership of your thinking, your time, your life. Because the most powerful mind is one that can imagine freely and reflect deeply. That's where every transformation begins, inside the creative mind, and in the quiet that gives it space to grow. Why creativity is survival. You can't afford to treat creativity like a hobby. In a world moving this fast, you either adapt or get run over. Creative thinking is your way through, whether you're trying to build a business, raise a child, get out of a bad situation, or stay sane in a noisy world. It's how you spot angles others miss. It's how you avoid repeating the same mistake 10 times before waking up. When life corners you, and it will, the creative mindset keeps you from folding. It gives you options. That's not just about innovation. That's about survival. It's about walking into a room, seeing 10 locked doors, and building your own damn exit. Creativity isn't a luxury, it's how you fight back. The question isn't whether you'll need it, it's whether you'll use it before it's too late. Creativity and growth. Why comfort is the enemy. Growth doesn't come from routine, from doing things the way they've always been done. It comes when you step outside of your comfort zone and into a space where you might look stupid, fail, or waste time. A creative mindset doesn't guarantee success, but it does guarantee movement, and movement is everything. Growth isn't polite. It's awkward, frustrating, and ugly before it becomes progress. If it feels easy, it's not growth, it's maintenance. Discomfort isn't the obstacle, it's the birthplace of reinvention. If you never struggle, you never evolve. That's why creativity fuels growth. It forces you to learn, adjust, and build new muscles. You stop defaulting to old answers. You start asking better questions. Comfort will always whisper, "Stay where you are." Creativity asks, "What else is possible?" The choice is yours, and those questions change everything. You can listen to comfort or creativity. One keeps you safe, and the other takes you somewhere new. The choice is yours. Innovation doesn't happen by accident. People romanticize innovation like it's a lightning bolt. It's not. Innovation is what happens when you challenge lazy thinking. Innovation starts when you refuse to accept good enough as the limit. It's what you get when you obsess over details, combine ideas that shouldn't work, or try something 3 different ways just to see which one clicks. Most innovation doesn't look like a breakthrough at first. It looks like tinkering. It looks like failure. Then suddenly, one of those weird ideas clicks and it changes everything. So the real question isn't if you have a great idea. It's whether you have the endurance to make it work. Perspective is a weapon. A creative mindset changes how you see the world. It's not just about doing things differently, it's about seeing things differently. And once your perspective shifts, it doesn't go back. You start noticing patterns, connections, and gaps other people ignore. You stop assuming things are fixed. Perspective isn't just a tool, it's ammunition. It's how you challenge assumptions, dismantle obstacles, and rewrite the rules. Perspective keeps you from getting stuck. It's what lets you reframe a loss into a lesson, or turn rejection into redirection. It makes you more resourceful, more flexible, and more human. You don't change the world by waiting. You change it by seeing what others don't and acting on it. How to build a creative mindset, even if you think you're not creative. This isn't magic, it's a habit, and it starts with how you think, not what you make. If you're too comfortable, you're not thinking. Creativity grows where certainty breaks down. Question everything. Don't accept the first idea that pops up. Don't trust systems just because they exist. Ask how things could be better. Ask what's missing. Protect unstructured time. You can't think creatively when every second is scheduled. Give yourself time to get bored. That's when ideas show up. Notice what excites or irritates you. Those are your clues. Follow them. If something bugs you, there's a problem to solve. If something excites you, there's energy to use. Stay curious even when it's uncomfortable. Ask dumb questions. Try things that might not work. Let yourself be a beginner. Write things down. Your brain won't remember every idea. Capture them, even the strange ones, especially the strange ones. Creativity isn't a luxury. It's how you stay sharp in a world that rewards predictable thinking. This isn't a one-time switch. It's a way of operating, and the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. Creativity is work, but it's worth it. People glamorize creativity as if it were some spontaneous genius moment. It's not. It's work. It's sitting with hard problems and refusing to accept the obvious. It's taking mental risks that don't always pay off. It's confronting the fear of failure again and again. Creativity isn't elegant. It's messy, uncomfortable, and full of dead ends. But every dead end teaches you something. Creativity demands failure first. It asks you to sit in uncertainty, rethink everything, and build something new before you even know if it works. Creativity makes you dangerous in the best way. It lets you move through the world with sharper eyes and better tools. It helps you reinvent yourself when life knocks you down. It turns you from a follower into a problem solver, into a builder, into someone who makes things better, starting with your own life. This isn't about talent, it's about action. Creators don't wait to be chosen. They step forward, build, and make it impossible to ignore. The only question is, will you? How to reignite creative thinking. Step 1, get curious again. Challenge what you've been told. Question the routines you follow on autopilot. Read books, listen to voices, and try things that feel foreign. Let discomfort be your guide. Curiosity grows when you stop chasing easy answers. Not everything will stick, but some of it will shake you awake. Step 2, learn to adapt. Take a new approach to an old task. Let yourself try and fail without labeling it a waste. Failure is where new ideas come from. Stay open and flexible. Creativity isn't about perfection, it's about iteration. The best ideas rarely arrive fully formed. Creativity dies when you cling to being right. Step 3, make creativity a daily habit. Set time aside just to explore ideas. You don't need a plan for journal scraps of inspiration or odd thoughts. Try something that's not productive. Doodle, write a story, play with puzzles, or brainstorm wild solutions to real problems. Make space for randomness. The best creative breakthroughs often start as accidents. Creativity needs room to stretch. You can't think differently if you never stop thinking at all. The same mind that builds and creates also needs silence to reset. Growth isn't just about adding more, it's about pausing long enough to see what's missing. The same fire that fuels creation burns out without stillness. And that's why the next step isn't doing more. It's learning to be still long enough to see clearly again. Solitude isn't isolation. Let's make something clear. Solitude doesn't mean cutting yourself off from people or becoming a hermit. It means carving out intentional time to be with your own mind without external influence. Time to think your own thoughts, feel your own feelings, and make your own decisions. You can be surrounded by people and still feel lost, or you can have a packed calendar and still feel empty. Noise doesn't equal connection, and movement doesn't equal progress. That's because true clarity doesn't come from more input. It comes from silence, from stillness, from making space. Solitude is where you get to ask, what do I actually want? What am I avoiding? What am I pretending not to know? You can't hear those answers when you're constantly distracted. And if you never stop to listen, you risk forgetting how to hear yourself at all. The hard path to finding yourself. Most people search for connection before they search for themselves. They look for a partner, a better half, someone to complete them, without ever asking if they've done the work to stand fully on their own first. But how can you build something real with someone else if you're still trying to figure out who you are? Self-discovery is hard. It's uncomfortable. It forces you to sit with the parts of yourself you'd rather ignore. Growth forces you into the parts of yourself you've spent years avoiding, the fears, the self-sabotage, the truths you've buried under distractions. You connect with people from a place of strength, not lack. Love becomes a choice, not a crutch. Fulfillment becomes something you create, not something you wait for. You walk through life with clarity, direction, and a mind that's finally quiet enough to hear what it truly wants. It's not easy. It takes time. You will wrestle with solitude, with fear, with all the messy parts of becoming whole. But when you do, you won't just be stronger, you'll be free in a way you never knew possible. The hard part, facing what's real. The real work begins once you stop running and truly sit with yourself. And it's not easy, it's uncomfortable, unavoidable, and the hardest thing you'll ever do. But it's also the key to everything. Solitude brings things to the surface, that's the hard part. When you stop distracting yourself, all the stuff you've buried starts bubbling up: resentment, regret, insecurity, fear. It's not always pretty, but it's real. And facing it is how you get free. Self-reflection forces accountability. You can't keep blaming other people for everything. You have to ask, what's mine to own? What do I need to change? That's uncomfortable. But it's also where real change begins. And once you ask, you can't unsee the answer. You either face it, step into the unknown, and transform, or stay exactly where you are, watching life pass you by. By the way, I've put together a free resource to help you go deeper with this. It's a collection of free chapter previews and reflection prompts designed to help you unlock your creative mindset, quiet the noise, and reconnect with your own clarity. You can grab your free access through the link in the description. It's my way of helping you stop running on autopilot and start creating, thinking, and living with intention again. Reflection is a weapon, not a luxury. People treat reflection like a luxury, something you do on vacation or once a year at New Year's. That's a mistake. In reality, self-reflection is a weapon. It sharpens your decision-making. It protects your energy. It cuts through noise. But it doesn't just protect you, it forces truth into the open. When you embrace discomfort, you stop being a passive participant in your life and become the architect of your transformation. You can avoid reflection, but you can't avoid the consequences of living a life that isn't truly yours. If you wait too long, the choice won't be yours anymore. Reflection is the only way to reclaim your life before it's too late. Facing yourself might be painful, but not facing yourself guarantees a life of quiet regret. How to reflect without getting stuck. There's a difference between reflection and rumination. Reflection moves you forward. Rumination keeps you stuck, so here's how to do it right. Reflection untangles patterns. Rumination tightens knots. One leads to growth, the other keeps you circling the same dead ends. Ask better questions, not why am I like this, but what triggered this reaction, not why do I always fail, but what did I learn from the last time? Don't over-identify with your thoughts. You're not your inner critic, and you're not your worst mistake. Thoughts are just thoughts. Let them pass through, not take over. Write things down. Journaling isn't about being poetic. It's about seeing patterns. Clarity hits differently when it's on paper. You start noticing the loops you're stuck in and how to break out. Be brutally honest, but don't self-attack. Reflection means truth-telling, not self-punishment. Own what's yours, learn from it, and move on. Create a regular rhythm. Don't wait until you're overwhelmed. Make solitude and reflection part of your routine. A walk, a notebook, 10 quiet minutes, it adds up. If this message is resonating with you, pause for a second. Ask yourself, when was the last time you truly listened to your own thoughts? And what's one small way you can create or reflect in silence this week to reconnect with yourself? Share it in the comments below. Clarity doesn't always feel good, at first. Here's the trap. People expect clarity to feel peaceful. Sometimes it does. But more often, clarity feels like a gut punch. It's the moment you realize you've outgrown a job, a friendship, or a way of thinking. It's the slow collapse of a story you've been telling yourself, one that no longer holds up under the weight of truth. But it also brings freedom. You're no longer lying to yourself. You're no longer living a version of life that doesn't fit. And that honesty, even when it hurts, is what sets you up for something better. The shock of clarity fades. The pain of change settles. And what's left is something unshakable, a life that finally aligns with who you really are. Solitude builds inner strength. You can fake confidence in a crowd. You can keep busy enough to avoid hard questions. But solitude doesn't let you fake anything. It strips everything down to what's real. People who can sit with themselves are dangerous because they aren't easily manipulated, don't need constant validation, and make decisions from a place of grounded clarity, not chaos. And when life falls apart, and it will at some point, they're the ones who stay calm, adapt, and rebuild. Solitude doesn't weaken you, it roots you. And when the storm comes, it won't be the loudest or flashiest people who stand, it'll be the ones who learned how to hold their own. Solitude gives you roots, so when the wind hits, you don't get blown over. Use solitude to reset, not escape. Some people use solitude to run from life. That's not what we're talking about here. Real solitude isn't about hiding. It's about resetting, regrouping, getting clear so you can re-enter life with focus and direction. You sharpen in solitude, but you cut in life. Stay away too long and the blade dulls from disuse. Think of solitude as sharpening a blade. You don't cut with the stone, you sharpen with it and then go out and use what you've gained. Build your solitude practice. Choose what fits you, don't force it to start where you are. Daily quiet check-in, 10 minutes no distractions. Walks without headphones. Solo journaling sessions. Turning your phone off for a set block daily. Weekly solo outings, coffee, park, art gallery, just you. How to make solitude work for you. Step 1, rethink what alone means. Stop equating solitude with loneliness. Time alone is time to reconnect with what's real for you. It clears mental clutter, sharpens decisions, and builds confidence. Some of your best thinking will happen when no one else is around. Solitude doesn't just give you clarity, it forces you to hear the truths you've been avoiding. Some of your best thinking will happen when no one else is around, but so will some of your hardest realizations. Step 2, practice mindfulness and journaling. Use mindfulness to stay present. Even a few minutes of deep breathing or reflection helps. But presence isn't just about calm, it's about seeing things as they are without distortion. Journal honestly, write down what you think, feel, and want. Don't journal to document, journal to confront. Write what you avoid, question what you assume, and strip away the stories you tell yourself. Ask yourself directly, am I living in a way that makes sense to me? Step 3, create space for solitude. Make solitude part of your routine. Take walks without your phone. Sit outside. Find quiet rooms. Build habits that let you unplug. Create rituals that remind you to check in with yourself, whether it's sitting in silence, watching the world move, or asking yourself hard questions. Turn off the noise and just be with yourself, not to fix anything, just to listen. Step 4, force yourself to do things alone. Discomfort is part of the process. You don't grow by waiting for solitude to feel easy, you grow by choosing it until it stops feeling unfamiliar. Push yourself to do things alone until you actually enjoy your own company. Take yourself out to dinner. Go on a solo trip. Pick up hobbies that don't rely on others to join. Learn to experience the world on your own terms. When you stop depending on external validation, your decisions shift. You start making choices for yourself, not to impress or conform, but to live in a way that feels true. Here are some actionable exercises that will help applying new insights. A. Daily check-in. What's real? Take 5-10 minutes. Ask yourself, what emotion is strongest in me right now? What triggered it? What do I want today, honestly? B. The mental debrief. Once a week, ask yourself, what's something I've been pretending not to notice? Where did I say yes, but wanted to say no? What drained me this week, and what gave me energy. See Solo 24. Constant input needs to reset your thinking. Try going a complete day without any digital noise and observe what thoughts, feelings, or insights come to light. Pick one 24-hour window. Spend it offline. No texting, scrolling, or replying to anything. Go analog, books, writing, cooking, walking. See what surfaces. At first, the quiet will feel strange, but stay long enough and it becomes clarity. That's where self-mastery begins, alone, honest, and fully present. This video draws directly from the core teachings in my book Self-Mastery. Elevate your thinking, empower your life, and its companion workbook. You'll find them linked in the description. They're designed to work side by side, giving you the tools, questions, and reflective exercises to help you unlock your creative potential, embrace solitude, and find clarity from within. Remember, mastery doesn't mean control over everything. It means knowing yourself deeply enough to move through anything. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one, and don't forget to subscribe.